Hello and welcome to this hsbView video on the latest updates we've added in version 29. My name is Andrew Baker-Keane and I have the pleasure of showing you how we have put more control within your hands. We all know that hsbView turn your paperwork digital, but there has often been the question on how do I actually get out what I require. So in order to do this, historically our professional services team has assisted with setting up the configuration, but we have now placed this configuration within the hands of the user by creating a custom editor. We've also added and increased the visualization of items such as wall icons and fasteners, and updated the 3D render so it displays more of what you would like to see. So without delay, let's start with the configuration editor. This is the beating heart of hsbView because it allows you to have full control over the software's appearance to the user. Once opened, the software has the Element, 3D and PDF viewers, all available on the different tabs, exactly the same as we had in the previous version. Going up to the settings, you'll notice that the icon has changed and now we have Edit Configuration. On entering the Edit Configuration, each row refers to a tab that is visible, and we can add additional tabs by selecting one of the three options at the top and clicking the Add button. We can also rename this so that the tab name that shows up will actually reflect the display name, and we can add a description so we know why we have got this additional tab in the system. On hitting save, you'll see it will automatically load up that new tab. If I select the 3D viewer and go into the configuration settings, you can see it automatically will jump to that 3D setting. We can also delete any particular tab we want from a configuration, and we can go to an existing configuration and use the copy button to copy a configuration. I'm going to name this video. As you can see, you can overtype the text in the description. The cog setting allows us access to all the settings that are available. If I go to the General tab, I can, for instance, change the background, and I can turn the background from a white colour to this pale blue grey colour. When I click OK and then I click Save, you can see the background has actually changed to this pale blue colour, whereas the original tab that I copied still shows the white background. All of these settings have been detailed in the documentation done by my colleagues, which can be found on the Academy. In this section, I want to start looking at what we have done to increase the visualization of products. So if we open the software, and you are quite familiar with the fact that if you select on a material item, it highlights it. But now if we go into the configuration we looked at, we can actually go to the additional drawings and select wall icons. Wall icons are basically going to reflect where the label was in the design package, which often determines which side the interior or external of the wall is. The next area of the software I want to look at is the fasteners. So yet again, we go into the editor, and this time we're going to switch on the fasteners, and I'm actually going to override the design colour so it's going to have a blue colour to make it easy to show on the video. When I click OK, you can then see, because I've also switched it on the material list, the items are actually showing up in the material list. And when I zoom in and I click on and off of a particular fastener that's in view, you can see the colour is changing to highlight it. We can also add in metal parts. So yet again, I'm going to override the colour, this time with this magenta colour, just for ease of view. And you can see the metal parts are actually showing up in the elevation, but they're also showing up in the sections, which you can see here. As a final thing, I'd like to have a quick run through on some of the changes we've done to the 3D rendering within inside hsbView. As you can see, the 3D viewer now opens automatically in an isometric view, and we have a parallel viewpoint rather than the perspective. This makes it easy when trying to use the features that you're used to with the dimensioning tools, etc. Another feature that we've got is that we can create a 3D solid on the element view, which gives you even more control over what you see. I'm just going to change this setting over to 3D, and when I save this, you will now see that we get almost like a transparency, and we also can control which orientation we see that as. Yet again, this opens in an isometric to start with, but it's really useful because you can actually then put it on whichever face you want. This is remembered when switching between tabs. Additionally, we can also select an item and it gets highlighted on the three-dimensional model from the material list. So why do we build these features? We build the enhancements with one purpose: to make your work simpler, faster, more reliable. From smarter shop drawing configurations to richer 3D visualization, hsbView helps teams to reduce errors, speed up workflow, and work with total confidence. I'd just like to say thank you for choosing hsbView, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy all of these new features we have added.